Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the individual speakers, commentators, guests, experts, and our hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the network broadcaster channel and/or program's policy or the views held by this network broadcaster channel or program. The network broadcaster channel or program cannot be held accountable for all or any views.
Hello, Fem Talk Nation. Welcome back to another Fem Talk Tuesday. We are here with Dr. Melissa Simmons.
Hello, Fem Talk Nation.
Hello, and Shima Shishi Talks.
Hello, Fem Talkers.
Yes, and tonight you see us all with very fresh faces because we are talking about skincare and makeup routines tonight. So take it away, Dr. Melissa.
Yes. I have a plain face on tonight, and throughout the show, you're going to watch me put on what I call my everyday face. So this is the face when by the end of the show, you'll see the face that, I go to work with. I may go to an evening event with. It's not the face for the wedding or, for the black tie affair, but it is the everyday face. And I'll show you, we have pictures of some of the products I'll be using. And then ladies, I think you're going to talk to me about some of the skincare regimens y'all have also, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm excited. So I'm going to take it from here. I'm going to start putting my makeup on. But while I'm starting, let's talk Fem Talk and yeah. We have a really good question.
Yes.
Ladies. So the question that came in says, my sister and I have different parenting styles. She swears by gentle parenting, but her kids are still unruly and definitely not gentle. I'm finding it hard to be around them. Low key, I can't stand them. What can I do?
Kudos for the vernacular. Low key.
Right. Low key.
Can't stand them. No, can't stand
them. For those who did it right. For those who couldn't catch on to that.
You don't like them at all. Okay.
Well.
Miss Tracy, tell me your take on this.
The other mom.
Okay, so I've been in this situation. I've definitely had, friends who have some kids who are definitely unruly and have a different parenting style.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, right? I'll start with this. I'll preface with this. Kids act up more around moms in particular, more so than with the fathers. And they usually don't act out when they're with another adult. If they are kids who are this way, usually it's usually reserved for that one parent, usually the mom. I'll put that out there.
This is true.
So sometimes, right, and I'm saying this to say sometimes you need to get your kids in front of other family members, friends that can assist you where you are finding it very hard to discipline, and I'm putting it this way, to discipline your children, to help them understand what it means to respect adults, right? Because sometimes, when kids are unruly, they usually have a lack of respect for adults. So sometimes you need to involve and integrate someone else into, because there may be something that's going on in the home and why that kid is acting out. We don't know the reason for these kids being unruly, but there may be some reason that they don't necessarily want to talk to the parent about. Either they don't want to talk to their parent about it, or it's something with the parent, right?
Interesting.
Just saying, right? Could be, one or the other, but you may need to integrate other people into your disciplining process, your parenting process. I will say this too. At some point, you have to turn the tables around and start to demand some respect from your children where they are unruly. Um, and I don't know this situation, so it's hard to say how they should actually do it.
Right.
But sometimes you're going to have to put your foot down. Like you're going to have to take some things away that they really like. Right.
Right. Yes.
Sometimes, listen, I was raised in this day and age, so don't get me fem talk audience out there, but sometimes you need a pat on the hand or a pat on the backside. I'm not saying hurt the kids. I'm not saying that, but discipline, sometimes you need a little pop. You know, I was pop.
What's the scripture? It says,
Spare the
where's
rod.
my son?
Spare the rod.
No, but what's the scripture? Oh my God, it's bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will draw it far away.
Yes.
What is it? I hear him yelling
What's
in the
bound up in
background.
the heart of a child? Something is bound. We can Google it while we
what is it? He's gonna tell me. Put it in the chat. Put it in the
I'll
chat.
let
What
you
is
know.
it? But I'll say this. I had 2 rules. Anybody who came to my house, I'm the mother. So any child that walked into my house, I said, it's my rules now. So the unruly child, so when you walk into my house, I don't care who your mother is. Or your father.
I'm beat her too.
You walk to my house, I'm the mother.
Yep.
So that already, anybody walking in the house, they knew they had to deal with me. And I had a reputation. So I didn't, so if they were bad outside of that, they usually didn't play with me. That was number 1. And number 2, I found out that children respond to that. Children are looking for discipline.
Yes,
Let's not fool ourselves. Children are looking for discipline. They're looking for you to tell them right and wrong. Now, how they react to it is one thing, but they learn to respect that, and it's something that they're looking for it. Foolishness, that's what it is. Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will draw it far away. My children can quote that for you, because I used to tell them that all the time, that, okay, your foolishness is expected. I think that's another thing, understanding that people will be foolish. Their brains are not mature. They're going to do foolish things and silly things. I used to pray for strategies, because I didn't want to go around always beating my children. Did they get a pow here and there? Yes. I came from the old school, so yes, they got a pow. That being said, I did more strategy discipline than anything. And they knew not to play with me. And the one rule that they all knew was, if you embarrass me, I'm going to embarrass you.
Hello.
So that behavior in public, maybe all children will try it on you. So they would all try it. But by the time I finished with them, they would never try it again. So I think it's just how you develop. You have to be very consistent and strict about your rules.
Right.
Implement them. Let me talk to you. Children, like I said, their minds are not developed. There is foolishness amongst children. They're kids. So your need for them to understand is not going to always come across. But
I think you need to be stern from the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
From the very beginning, because then they start to understand what your language is, especially when it comes to the discipline piece of it. And it's understood throughout their lifetime, right? Like I know, even as an adult, right, at 54 years old, now I'm not subjected to any discipline anymore, but there's a level of respect that I have for my mother, right, that I will continue, because that's what we started, and that's what we're going to continue. So I think you have to start that from the beginning. Now, where you need to turn that around, you may have to do some, like Dr. Melissa said, you may have to get some real good strategies to be able to put things around when you don't get the respect of your children from the very beginning. Then you need some strategies for that particular child in order to change things.
Absolutely.
Well, I go to other people's houses often, because I don't have children. So when they have children like things in their house, I go there and I spend time there, and I take discipline with me, not like physical, but you're not going to, I really don't want to see you do things in your house that you shouldn't do as a child. And if I do, and I check with your mom and I realize, oh, this is what you allow them to do, Oh, okay. Now, I don't want to offend anybody. If it was my sister, I'm going to say exactly how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if this is what you let them do, I don't think I'm going to come back here. Because I
Right.
don't want to see that.
Mhm.
And you don't
Right.
want me to discipline them.
Mhm.
But
Right.
when you come and you bring them to me to babysit and to watch, like you said, my house, my rules.
Mhm.
My house, my
That's
rules.
how we do.
Mhm.
And I agree 100%. You do have to be ingenious with all children. And
Mhm.
I've always thought that from a child of myself, but even when I was teaching, you have to find a way to get through to them. And like you said, it's not always, this is what we're going to, all the talking doesn't always work. So you got to get ingenious. And I'm going to say,
You got to get creative. You got to get crafty.
Moments when you're at your wit's end and listen, this is not what we're going to do here. And you still do it. Okay. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to put your backpack on. We're going to sit right here on the step by the door because your mother's coming back to get you.
Yes.
I know
There you go.
your mother not coming back to get you for 2 hours.
That's some of the strategies.
And
Yes.
Auntie Shima has the patience of Job. So me, you, and Auntie Shima in your backpack, me and you and your backpack is going to sit here till mommy comes.
Yeah.
Which I know is 2 hours later, but by right about maybe 35, 45 minutes, if they real good. Whatever they're doing, sitting there waiting is not enjoyable.
Mhm.
They want to snack. They got to pee. They want to play. Oh,
They want to be nice now.
Those
Mhm.
things is if we could do these things,
Mhm.
which is wait and listen. And you do have to get ingenious. I don't, in this particular case, want to see the fact that you don't like your nieces or your nephews.
Mhm.
You
That's sad.
want to be around them.
Yeah.
But I say, have a conversation with your sister.
Yeah.
And even say, we weren't raised like that.
So what are you doing? Right.
Parenting way works for you and it doesn't work for you outside of your home. What are you going to do? You're never going to bring them around other people.
Yeah.
You have to get conversation. And if you don't agree with that, and like I said, as my sister, I'm going to say to you, oh, okay. So that behavior you're going to allow no matter where you go, y'all can't come over here.
Yeah.
I'm
quick to say, just bring them to my house. I'm quick to say, just you drop them off. Drop them off.
Yeah, right. And that's the other part.
When they're bad with it, they're not bad with me.
You.
Yeah.
If you leave them here, my house, my rules.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, take them with you.
And I think if you see, and I think sometimes when you have it, your sister, that's a close person, right? So you could actually tell them, look, watch what I do. And let them see how you implement some of the discipline. And sometimes they could go home and try the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are good strategies. I think parenting is all about strategies.
Yeah.
And figuring out what you can do to strategize against.
And sometimes you got to get an ally.
Yes. So I do believe it takes a village to raise a child. So when you are struggling, that's when the village should come into play. Mm-hmm. But real quick, as you see, I started my makeup regimens. And I started out with my pencil. I know. Start out with my pencil. I love a good pencil, Anastasia. I get all my stuff from Sephora. I go to Sephora because they have such a plethora of different types of makeup.
They do.
And it's been years, but they really do now. You could find your shade. Back in the day, you could not easily find your shade. Now you could find your shade. So I always do my eyebrows. As we get older, our hair thins. So I use an eyebrow. I also use a gel to kind of give it some depth and give it, make it look a little real. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just use a little bit of this. And it just makes it look, and then, and if you all day doing this, sometimes you wipe your face, all of a sudden half your eyebrow goes.
Eyebrows up here.
Whoops! I missed my eyebrow.
Right.
This has to stay on. So I have that. So I use that, which is a little gel. I love that. And then now I'm contouring my face. I don't use foundation. I use tinted moisturizers. Everything you see here is tinted moisturizer, and I'm kind of leaning to my Fenty brand. Fenty has so many different things. They now have a whole line. They call it a souffle, but they're very light. and it's a tinted moisturizer. They come in sticks. So you saw me using the sticks. So I just get all different shades and I play with it. And those are some of the things. What you're seeing here on the screen are some of the things that I'm using that's right here in front of me. And you see the sticks in the back. Those are some of my sticks. And this is actually a refillable thing. You see that in the back also. It's, again, Fenty products. But I use a myriad of stuff. I also sometimes I have NARS. I use NARS. They have a really good tinted moisturizer. So I'm big on, let me see who else can do that. You know what I'm saying? I even have a Sephora brand. So again, even with money, obviously your Fenty, your NARS are more expensive and your Sephora brand is a little bit cheaper. So you can play with that. So now I just have my tinted moisturizer in different colors, again, to have that light look and kind of doing the contouring. You usually contour light around your eyes, right in the middle, so it gives that highlight to the middle of your face. And then you do your eye, you do a darker blend on your cheekbone so that your cheekbones stick out. And then in the middle, again, some more light. You put your nose, and this whole area just kind of illuminates. So you kind of blend it in from light, and dark. I also saw something which is very interesting. They say you can contour using the letters 5 and 3.
5 and 3?
Well, you write the number 5 on your face, and then the dark is a number 3. So you write the number 5 in the light, and then the 3 is the dark. Interesting, right? Yeah. So you follow that kind of, that rule. You kind of know where the light and the dark goes. Again, 5 would be the light, and 3 would be the dark. Ain't that a good? That's a good trick.
That's a good trick.
Look at that. Next, as we're doing makeup, let's talk about what. You know what? I want to see. Show me 2 of your moisturizers, because it's so important when you're doing makeup to use moisturizer, because then the makeup stays on a lot. I personally, I have this it's like it's called a Sturdy vent. It's a lift. I got it from Costco actually. So it has all those peptides in it to kind of give the face a lift and everything. So I have been using this, and I do see a little bit of a difference. But let me say what I also use, which is still it's hard to beat it, is good old fashioned. Oh, now it just went out of my head. Olay, olive Olay. It's still ranked one of the best creams out there. So when all is said, if you got an olive Olay, I do one with the peptide and another one. They're great. So olive Olay.
I have to piggyback on the old school. I do, I cleanse my face with other things, and I've tried several things as you grow, from a young woman to a mature, seasoned woman, and I have always been berated by my mom to go back to what works. And she was also very right. I am a Pond's girl.
Oh, yes.
Out of a child. I have dry. I used to have very, very dry skin, flaky dry skin. Still have those issues sometimes. So this nurtures my skin. More recently, because it's healthy, it's super greens, it's vitamin A, B, D, C, E, and it has like a little bit, like spirulina, some broccoli, all those good super greens.
You can eat that thing, huh?
Yeah. I didn't try it. It's called Green Goddess Facial Oil. I'm sorry. Green Goddess Facial Oil. It's made by a company called FarmX. It is a collaboration between FarmX and Avon. I have been an Avon, Avon lady since 1990.
Oh my God. Yes, Kashima, you are our official Avon representative. When we need anything from Avon. Oh, and when we get to the lips, I'm gonna highlight the best lip liner, and what I'm talking about.
No longer available. I know.
No longer available.
So I mix these 2 together now, especially in the winter months, because I needed a little boost. Just to give you a little heads up, this has a little CBD in it.
Ooh,
Nice.
makes you
CBD.
feel good
Nope.
on top of it. I love it.
Yeah,
Really
it
nice.
calms any redness that you have, any hyperpigmentation you feel or see. It will calm that. So that is my new moisturizing
I love
regimen.
that.
Not new,
Nice.
but old school updated, I'll call it.
Well, mine is going to be new. I was using Cetaphil products. I still use the Cetaphil wash. I like Cetaphil because they don't have any parabens and dyes or anything in their products. So I use the Cetaphil wash. I, however, have now moved to Jan Marini's moisturizer. And the reason why I started using this is because I was just using the Cetaphil moisturizer, but I am an oily person, especially in the T zone.
Me too. Yeah.
And it seemed like every moisturizer that I used, it looked like my face, I just ready to fry chicken on my face. So, so I found some products here, and I can't really say I found it. You know, kudos to my Medi Spa that I go to for many things.
Yes.
But I started using the Jan Marini products because they're giving me what I need, but allowing me not to look so oily. So this particular moisturizer helps to keep my face moisturized without all the oil.
Yes.
I'm going to show their other products because this is what I combine it with. I use a vitamin C serum,
Me
also
too.
vitamin, which has been
Yes.
working. I had braids in my hair at the beginning of the year, towards the end of the year, beginning of the year, and the synthetic hair was breaking my face out. And after I took the braids out, I started using this. And now all of these blemishes, you can see them, but they're very light now, where they were dark and they were big, and now they're shrinking. So thank you, Jan Marini's vitamin C.
Yay.
Yes.
And I
have
love
a
the fact
powder
that you
too,
have those kind
vitamin
of.
C. Oops, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you
I
said?
was saying about the vitamin C. I have a powder version of natural vitamin C, and I sprinkle a little bit in my hand when I put my moisturizer in, mostly in the summertime or on days when I want a really good glow.
Good
I'll
glow.
put it in the moisturizer and put it on my face. I'm always wanting a good glow. I ain't gonna lie. I want to shine all the time.
And I always admire your skin and your look at your face, and you don't have a touch of makeup on.
Not a thing.
You just have just this beautiful glow to your face. So I always admire that about looking at that face. I said, I wish. But
that's all right.
I mean, and I think makeup for me is something that I love. Makeup. It's my happy time of the day.
It's your happy
So
place.
it's not about trying to change. I call makeup an enhancer. You're beautiful anyway. And it just gives you that sun-kissed kind of look to it. That's what I see makeup should be. It shouldn't just change who you are. It should enhance who you are. Yeah. So as I'm doing this, I'm just enhancing and having fun.
It's just like clothes. You put a new outfit on your face.
Okay. Just joy for me. Makeup and more.
That is it.
Well, it is that time in the evening also. Let's talk about hot topics. Hot.
These topics.
We got a few topics to talk about. I'm going to jump to my favorite one.
What's your favorite?
Well, it's not even favorite. The NFL draft and the selection of, or the non-selection of Shedeur Sanders.
What's up, Buck fans? It's legendary Shedeur Sanders here. Thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful for everything leading up to this point. Now the main thing is I'm just praying, all my receivers, Shiloh, and the rest of my teammates get drafted. But I'm ready to lead this franchise on the big things. Let's do it.
Love it.
Quite humble.
That was his reaction. One of the many reactions he had after he was drafted at 144. Let me say this. Draft day 2 was one of the highest draft days ever because it increased by 40% because everybody's now glued to the draft to see when he's supposed to be when he's going to be drafted. Just to give some context, he was predicted to be drafted in the first round. I think they didn't know somebody would trade to draft to get a higher draft pick. But the number, when I looked at the mock drafts from a few places, he was predicted to go number 19, I think, was the number. Because everybody, unlike most drafts, a lot of other drafts, the need for a quarterback was not prevalent. A lot of teams have a good quarterback, so the need for quarterbacks wasn't as high. A lot of teams wanted defensive players. So more so than ever, defensive players went. So there was a couple of things in play. But based on the predictions, he was supposed to be the second quarterback taken off the off the board. Number one was the number one draft pick, which was Cam Ward. And then everybody else was supposed to fall in line. So, what are your thoughts on all of the hoopla you've heard about the non-picking of Shedeur Sanders? Shima.
It just sounds like he was anticipating, and I asked this earlier, but he was anticipating to be picked earlier. Okay, I understand that. But were you anticipating being picked earlier because of your abilities and the want, or because you were told that you would be picked earlier in the draft and somebody reneged on that offer? And
that's a good question. That's a good question. Like, who is he talking to? What prospect? Because prior to the draft, the top players are meeting with owners. They're meeting with teams. They're going to these cities and towns. So I guess based on the conversations he had, based on his track record, what he did, it was, I mean, and when I tell you, everybody who was doing mock drafts for like a month before the draft. Right. Everybody had him high because of his talent.
Okay.
Based on the numbers, based on the numbers, based on his completions, percentage of completions, the wins, how he reacts in the game, based on his numbers, and how he quarterbacked his team. That was what made his ability rise to the top above most of the draftees quarterbacks in this draft pool. So that's where it came from.
So then it would make sense. Not that I'm saying the behavior, the reaction was great, but it would make sense for his father to be concerned that it was deliberate and planned. If everybody is feeling like he should have went early, and like I said, you met with all these owners, maybe somebody did say to him, I can see you being picked early. I can see you
and again, the draft, if you ever watched the movie Draft Day, I'm telling you, watch that movie with Kevin Costner, and it will give you the idea of what, just an idea of what people are looking for and how a draft goes. So you're never guaranteed number one pick. You're never guaranteed
on the dotted line.
Not till you sign. Exactly.
Right.
I think what everybody feeling, including me, was that it was done on purpose to kind of prove a point that you're not going to take your type. You're not going to come into the NFL and be a showboat like your dad. You're not going to be, prime time.
That sounds like
come into the NFL. You're going to kiss the ring and you're going to obey.
Sounds like teacher lesson.
And many people felt that that's what was happening, and not the opposite. I was having a conversation with Nick earlier, and he was saying how he felt that Shedeur's comments before the draft and not showing up at the combine per se, because I just heard something that he did show up at the combine. But whatever happened, that a couple of teams were turned off by his overwhelming confidence.
I like how you said that. I said the other word.
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming. It was too much for them. The confidence level was too much for them. So that was the rumors going around about, what he said and stuff like that. But what I would say is these are two kids, both his brother. Now his brother's in the same draft, older brother. So Shiloh and Shedeur. Shiloh was not drafted. He did get a free as soon as the draft was over. He got a call, and he is a free agent. I believe it was Tampa Bay took him, but neither one was drafted. And Shiloh, if you watch the first night, he said, "Well, if they treating you like this, I know they're not going to pick me." Wow. So they kind of saw it coming now. But what I would say is this: Deion Sanders has raised some good boys. Confident boys, and has taught them to believe in themselves. Right. I just listened to him say, you should never have to apologize for your greatness. Right. And they are believers in God. So they believe that at the end of the day, this is God's will, and I'm sad and I'm good with it. And one thing I have not heard one time since he was drafted, one negative thing out of Shador. He has been nothing but gracious, grateful, and saying all I wanted was a shot. So my big thing is, I hope the NFL and all of the people learn a lesson from how they treated him, because he didn't deserve the treatment he got. But based on how he was raised and trained, he was nothing but gracious, and he is ready to prove himself. So I hope that next year the Cleveland Browns or whoever decides to keep him and have him, that he takes that team to the playoffs, into the Super Bowl. How about that?
So, what did oh, sorry, Tracy, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what did Kendrick Lamar say? Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
They're not like us.
The nice way.
That's right.
The nighttime show.
They're not like us. So I think, I think it's that kind of thing. And I will say this. Two other things I want to say about this is, didn't the same thing happen with Serena and Venus? That's
I'm drinking my water.
Number two.
Here too.
Right. I want to see what happens next year when the grandson of Archie Manning, I think his name is Archie also, comes out to the draft. I want to see how they treat that family. The man, when how they represent him, what the comments are about that legacy, because that's where the word legendary comes from. It's from his father.
Yeah.
And that's the name of their company and their brand, because his father was legendary, and he wants to keep the momentum going. So, too aggressive to call yourself legendary, right? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
That just goes back to what he said, though. It's like you can't have confidence now to people looks too cocky, right? They don't like the delivery, but listen, it took them to do the work, right, to get where they are. It just didn't just happen. It wasn't just something that just happened.
They didn't just like miraculously turn around a whole two teams.
Exactly.
Jacksonville and Colorado. That just didn't happen. That was real.
Right.
That was real.
Right.
They really scored. They really won. The prior team hadn't won anything. And then that whole team comes, and now they went into they were even part of they had a bowl, I believe, this year, Colorado. But again, unheard of stuff. Unheard of. The enrollment went up. Viewership went up. Everything that is tracked based on what with the Sanders coming to Colorado, everything tracked up.
Yeah.
Revenue, sales, enrollment to the school.
Yeah.
The quality of the football team, the sponsorship, everything increased, because he didn't just talk it, he did it. But Deion Sanders always did it. Right. He talked what he did.
But like I said, that's why you mad. Because your dad was so cocky. I can say cocky for the dad, but he could be cocky.
The kids are just normal. They're normal. What urban kid don't you see with the chain and the sneakers? It's a swag. That's what they do. They wear to go. Everybody in the draft had on some piece of jewelry.
Something.
All the kids. Yes. All the kids. Did you see where all of them had on something?
To the point where they wear it on the field during the game now. They keep those chains on, and you see them on the football. I mean,
during the game.
Jersey.
That's right. So that's just my thing.
Yeah,
that's just my thing. real quick, as you see, I'm putting on now my eyeline. I'm highlighting. This is a trick I learned. If you want to kind of pop your eye, put a little bit of something very light. Just as again, this Anastasia has the best eyebrow stuff you can buy in the business. And you put a little bit of light highlighter. This is a pen, a pencil, right under the arch of the brow, and that it just pops your eye.
It makes you look like you're doing this, and you're not.
And you're not. Little trick I learned, but it does wonders. Right. And again, I'm using their pencil. I could buy 100 of these. The Anastasia dark brown pencil. That's another thing. It's hard to find a color. I'm a dark skinned woman. I'm considered a darker skinned woman. And it's hard to find a good dark brown that will now pop on your face. So you got to look.
That doesn't look black. And
there you go.
Look, it's very
one that
hard.
Doesn't look black. I don't want black. I want dark brown. So again, that's why I like Sephora. That's why I like certain brands, because they have my shades.
So I have to chime in at the eyebrow portion, because I too was a drawer for years and years and years and years. And I recently, in the last, September, this September will be 3 years since I decided to tattoo my eyebrows.
I love it.
I went out with the idea of microblading, and this is good information for those of you who are thinking about it or trying, deciding whether or not you should. My idea was to microblade because I wanted my eyebrows to look like hair. I wanted them to have the slits and everything.
Right.
I went to a very, very good woman that I followed on Instagram for at least 9 months before I decided I'll let her do.
Y'all hear that? She researched, so she didn't just go to anybody.
I did the research and I watched her do several hundreds of women. When I got to her, the reason why I love her so much even more now, when I got to her and told her that this is what I wanted, and she began the process, because I was going to do a dual tattoo and microblading. When she started the tattoo process, mind you, they asymmetrically measure your face to find out where your high bone points should be, the low bone, the eye bone, all of that. So when you, just before she tattoos you, you look like a whole blueprint on your face. But when she started the tattoo process, she watched how my skin reacted, my body reacted. And she said to me, I would never waste your money, because I asked her about the microblade and when you're going to do it. She said, I don't think I'm going to do it because your oil ducts are very strong. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? She said, I could do it. She said, but your oil ducts are going to continue to produce or overproduce because it's reacting to what I'm doing, and it'll wash out the microblade. She said, so that would be a waste of money. That'll be a torture, because it's the little bit of pain that you go through, but then you won't have anything to show for it.
Wow.
And I appreciated that, because listen, she's an esthetician. She wants to make all the money she can, and especially get more customers, but she wants them the right way.
Right.
So I love that she's teaching me. She taught me how to maintain and what would be better for my skin when I do the process. So if you are thinking about it and you can handle it, it's not very painful. It is an option. I have the great part about me and my tattoos, I don't have to do anything to my eyebrows in the morning or when I put my face and makeup on. If I want a more dramatic look, then I'll pencil them in on top.
And you pencil them in on top. I love it.
Fresh face, and I get dressed. I put on my Old Faithfuls and stuff, and I just want to have a natural face. It's already there.
And I love that, because a lot of people are turning to permanent tattooing with makeup. Permanent makeup. It's called permanent makeup, right? And people get it for the eyebrows. And reasons why. I'll use me, where my eyebrows, because of I had my thyroid removed over 10 years ago. So I started losing my hair on my face. So my hair is very thin. So that's a person like me, that's a great option where I could get a tattoo. And I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about it now. People
it took me
have
a while.
difference with alopecia and different things like that. That those are those considerations. So it's not something where it's all about just making makeup easy. It's allowing you to maintain some of your features in a different way.
Yeah. And it's a matter of convenience for me. Listen, I don't mind. I had a very steady hand. I get them eyebrows on in less than 2 minutes, just like I do with the eyelashes. I'm quick with it. When I put my face on, it's fast.
It's fast. So, you know what you're doing.
I just felt like you said, some days you forget you're out there and it's warm and you rub your forehead like this. Now I got on half an eyebrow.
Half an eyebrow.
Yeah. I walk up to one of my friends and they like, well, what happened? What's wrong with your eyebrow?
Where'd it go?
Where'd the eyebrow go? And I look at my hand and it's there. So I just felt like, as this process goes, I'm going to want more convenience. So for me, it was definitely a cosmetic conveniency, I'll say.
But a lot of women are turning to it because
they are.
The loss of hair on your eyebrow is more common than you think.
Common.
Yeah.
And your eyelashes.
And your eyelashes.
Those are two very delicate areas for the hair. So
especially
be careful.
if you've been blading, like and not waxing, but I think it's microblading. Threading your eyebrows. They reduce the hair, quantity on your face, and a lot of times people lose hair. It doesn't grow back. So you have to be careful with some of these processes we go through to temporarily be cute. Yeah.
You know what? Can I give another quick tip?
Yes.
I remember years ago waxing my eyebrows, going to this wonderful place that was doing so good, and the lady waxed the tail of my eyebrow off. So I had all this nice eyebrow on this side, and all of this from here back was gone.
And then it never came back either, right?
Well, this is the best part about it. I didn't get arrested because I didn't kill the lady. However, after some very choice words, I left her and I went to work. And I worked with a young lady who is of Indian descent. And she was a person who donated hair often. So she grew her hair in droves, so much so that sometimes it would grow down below her butt or even down to her heels. The hair was amazing. And she's also a threader. And she told me, I can bring that back. I can bring that eyebrow back. And at the time, my hair was still growing. So she said, don't do anything to it. I need you not to wax, pluck, nothing for at least 45 days. Now, this was December. Christmas was coming. Now, I got a lot of stuff I do. I'm social. Don't do nothing to the eyebrows for 45 days.
45 days? What are you telling me?
With whatever is happening up there. But I did it. And in the interim, she said, daily, I want you to put on castor oil on your eyebrows every day. Because she explained to me in her culture, that is something they massage into their children's head every night. Every night. And
castor oil, really?
And I did it. And I watched as my eyebrows came back. And that tail came back. And it was thinner than the rest. And the rest was super bushy. But it was thin enough for her to thread me to make it normal. 45 days, she brought it back. So what if nothing else, if you're taking nothing else from these conversations, please take skin care, and that goes for the inside and the out.
Just don't take anything. Just look into stuff,
and then listen to some of the remedy. The old school remedies. Some of that stuff is amazing.
It works. It still works.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now, again, I'm doing contour. Not so much, like I said, I don't like heavy stuff on my face. And you can even see the oiliness because I have oily skin like you, Tracy. I use powders to enhance some of the contouring. So this is a toasted color. So that would give me my contour here, give my contour here. Then I use a lighter powder to then go under the eye area so that would brighten up that area. And again, it's a powder, so it helps with my the oiliness or us women of a certain age, we sweat a lot, so it helps with.
You see me doing this on camera.
It helps with that, and again, you see, you always put it on the center of the nose, the lighter piece, and then your forehead. That also, because they shine, but they also, when you put it all together, the lightness here with the darkness around gives your face that contour, that look, that little, without doing that. And again, pal, if you saw, and I quickly did my eye.
I said that's the picture pout.
That's the picture. Yeah.
And I just quickly did my eye. This is makeup by Mario. Love his eyebrow. I mean, he has the best black eyeliner pencil in the business. Anytime you go there, you have to like take two because they sell out so fast. But it's a black pigment, and it pops your eye. See my eyes? Just looking all cute. And again, I'm doing a little smoky eye. This is a smoky eye. Nice. But it's a lighter version of a smoky eye. It's not that dark black, but it's a little bit of pop on the eye. And then, of course, a little bit of powder foundation. What are you doing? I'm putting makeup on, Jen.
You should have joined us, Jen.
You should have joined us.
Up in skincare time with a little bit of Hot Topics thrown in.
Yeah, Jen and I played with some eyebrow stuff like a year or so ago. So she knows how I am with makeup. But I do want to say this. Now, I was talking about the lip. Lip lining is still in, ladies. That used to be an old school thing. Now, what we don't do is we don't take the black pencil and lip, and that we don't do that.
Please don't do it.
Please
if you are doing it, stop.
No black pencils and lips. Now, what I will do, this is called, what is this called? 2-in-1 Lip Tattoo by Avon, the best lip tattoo. And they don't sell it no more.
They don't sell it anymore. It's a tint.
eBay.
Yeah. Just Google it and find it. Listen, I'm an Avon lady, and I tell you, if you want to locate it, Google it and buy it. Because I know that my company does not carry it, and it is great. It is something you can have on and put your lipstick underneath or lip gloss or whatever. And when you eat and wipe, you'll still have the line. So while you're at the table at dinner and you want to reapply, you already have the template to put it on and go with your kissy lips.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I have darker lips. So again, trying to find a dark lip liner is important for me. But Avon tattoo, number one.
Tip. Darker lips, if you line your lip and let's say they're dark, you can put a lighter something. Take one of those nice little light pens that you use up here or a light powder, put it on, and then put a gloss over it if you want to. It's just like highlighting your lips. It'll turn it lighter for you, like she's doing there. If you have a pinker lip, I know my bestie says that all the time, and you with or without a pencil, and you want an even tone it, because some people have it darker at the top, pink in the middle, put a little foundation or something brown or skin tone in the middle, let it set, and then put whatever color lip gloss or lipstick you want to wear on top of it. So it gives it an even tone. You don't have to fight with that two-tone lip color.
I love that.
I'm just with my honeybee that moisturizes your lips and gives you a slight tint,
which is great.
But your lips will be so soft, your significant other will love you for it.
Another, if you're into lip gloss, Buxom. Buxom has all kind of colors. This is a lip gloss that stays on.
Nice.
Buxom. Nice. Wonderful colors. Again, I love this. And at the beach, you don't have lipstick, it's too hot for lipstick. And I'm a big believer, you blend lipsticks. I never do one. I love a beige. So this is a beige color. and then I blend it with my coppers and my oranges, so I get a different look. Yeah. Again, the look I'm looking for. And last but not least is a bronzer. So I put another bronzer on just to give, again, that sun-kissed look. Again, I have an oily skin, so the bronzer is something I use in order to kind of take away the last bit of sunshine, oiliness, and voila, Melissa is looking cute.
Not a cute.
on the television. And last tip is a setting spray. This is what, if you watch the WNBA, Dejanay Carrington, she is beat from the first one, from when the game starts to when the game ends. And this is her secret sauce. It is OSI. Is it OSI? OSI setting spray you get in Sephora. Just spray it on. And now all day it's yours. And this is the matte finish. Ain't that looking cute?
Yes.
All right.
The face.
The face. Now this is not. Now I did what? This is not the 10-minute look, right? But you can do, again, I didn't use a lot. It's powders. I use a lot of powders and tinted moisturizer.
Right.
That's it.
Nice. So of course, I have to put in my health coach spin on this. If you want to truly clear your skin, also you have to think about cleaning your gut. So when you start to see blemishes, when you start to see acne, when you start to see rashes, when you start to see, anything that's attaching itself to your skin, it's probably coming out of your pores because you need to clear the toxicity out of your body. So if you want to see your skin clear up, do something that's going to clean yourself out.
Yes. I totally. Water.
Yeah.
You want pretty skin?
All day.
Drink water.
Lots of it.
Yeah.
Spend all your time in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
It does work. I hope y'all got a little bit from it. Play around. Again, go find your little things.
Absolutely. And share. Let us know what your skincare regimens are. Tell us your makeup regimens, your skincare regimens, any secret products that you want, that you use, that you want to share. Ask about any products that we use, that we share tonight. Anything that you suggest, hit us up on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and send us an email about it, because we love, we all girls. It's not a girls show, but it is femto. We like to talk about girl stuff.
We do.
I said we like to talk about all stuff.
Last thing too is, our very helpful app. It's called Yuka, and you can check your skincare products to the Yuka app. So you just click the QR code, you download the Yuka app, click the QR code on your skincare product, and find out what's in it. Because Yuka, if it is listed, and if it's a popular product in particular, Yuka will give you, the ingredients, and it'll tell you what's good for you and what's bad for you. So check out your
get excited when it's a good one. These are excellent. 100 out of 100.
That's right. All right, everyone. We love you out there. We thank you for joining us this week. Tune in next week right here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you then.